Very good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen. The topic for the panel discussion for this evening is understanding the next generation commercial vehicle. To discuss this very important and engaging topic, we have with us a very eminent panel. Mr. Satish Sharma, Chief India Operations, Apollo Tyres; Dr. Pawan Goenka, President, Automotive and Farm Equipment, Mahindra Mahindra; Mr. Akash Pasi, Senior Vice President, Region International, Volvo Bus Corporation; Mr. Ravi Pesharodi, President, Commercial Vehicles Business Unit, Tata Motors; Dr. V. Sumantran, Vice Chairman, Ashok Leyland; Mr. Anirudh Bualka, MD and CEO, AMW; V. Ramki, Vice President, Frost & Sullivan. Topic that has been chosen keeping in mind certain dynamic factors that are affecting the commercial vehicle industry today. And we'll also try to ask two questions of the panelists. How pervasive is this change to new generation commercial vehicles? And B, will it result in the old generation commercial vehicles going out? So now that the introductions are complete, I would like to start the panel discussion. I would like to first engage Mr. Ravi Pesharodi into this. How real is the transformation to a new generation commercial vehicle in the last 5 to 7 years, considering that you still have millions of older generation vehicles flying on the road?
One of the things we see in India, and I say this across industries, not just commercial vehicle industry, that because of the rate of growth and the development of many new people coming in, commercial vehicles in terms of trucks and buses with higher GVW and higher horsepower were a very small business. So that's also expanded. So I think what is happening is the portfolio is widening. There are a lot of sub-segments getting created, but the old segments are still continuing.
Dr. Sumantran, is that good or bad for the industry?
Without a doubt, there is a huge amount of change happening in the landscape. We're seeing products getting renovated. We have lead indicators. We see what's happening in passenger cars. So there is inevitably a mood that says that there is going to be fundamental change in the way the products are configured, products are applied, and how the products are used by customers.
Good point. Akash, you wear two hats. You are chairman of the Indian operations, and you also look at the international operations for Volvo in many emerging markets. If you take your industry, the bus industry, I mean, you've had a very difficult task of selling your concept of modern buses to India. How do you think the Chinese market has evolved? Is it the same way that India has evolved, or is it different?
Well, I would put it like this, that both India as well as China are primarily aspirational societies. Therefore, change moves in at a much faster rate than anywhere else probably in the world. The biggest thing which has changed in India, and I would say the same thing happened in China, is first that the consumer has changed. This spectrum of society is able to, for the first time, demand change from the commercial vehicle industry, which means that operators both in the bus industry as well as the truck industry have put in additional demands onto the manufacturers like us to bring about a dynamic change. But in the long run, over the next 10 years, I feel that India and China will describe the future for this industry.
Anirudh, when you launched your trucks in 2006, you did something new, something different. What could be described as a next generation product? 2006, did many fleet operators tell you this is too expensive, I want to build my own cabin?
Yeah, we had a more basic problem. They used to ask me, your product looks nice, but what is AMW? So, but having said that, of course we faced the initial challenges because we put out a product which was way ahead of its time. But one of the things that we believed way back then, that if the product at the end of the day has to make profit for a customer, and coming into the business as a challenger brand, we had no choice but to differentiate.
Dr. Goenka, Mr. Pisharoddy made a point as to how the market will evolve at the fringes of the existing market. So if you look at the market today, you have a Volvo, a Mercedes, a Scania on the top. Then you have a Tata, you have Ashok Leyland, you have AMW, you have Mahindra Navistar, you have Manforce. What do you think is the segmentation possibility that you see in the Indian market? Do you see there being 2-3 different kinds of products within the premium? Will it be sub-premium, premium, middle premium?
That's a hard question for me to think through. Clearly, there is a premium segment.
Okay.
And premium segment is not the volume segment, and the players who are in there are not looking after volume. But the segment in the middle is, I think, struggling. So even today, the Indian consumer or the person who is buying the truck is not willing to pay the right premium for the kind of things that are coming in the next level truck. I'm not talking about premium. So that is little slower than what I thought. So I still think that the middle segment will evolve at some point of time, but it's taking longer than I thought it would.
Let me toss a question to Ramki. Do you deal with fleet operators in your research activity and consultancy activity? Do you think one of the most prominent issues that is hindering the adoption of this middle segment of trucks and buses is the fragmentation of the market? Do you think that we have so few organized fleet operators that the benefits of these new generation products cannot be realized so quickly?
In terms of segmentation that all the CV manufacturers look at, they look at large customers, which is typically companies that have more than 100 trucks. The classification may differ from company to company. Probably believe there are about 1,000 such companies that are existing in the space today.
Okay.
The question is of how quickly is it goods consolidating at any point in time for you to have these kind of larger trucks, right? So if you had enough bulk that needs to be carried to any single market, I'm sure the volumes will dictate the larger size of trucks that is required at any point in time. So today the consolidation of cargo doesn't seem to be happening. So through the time we are able to move forward in terms of creating large markets, number one. Second, in terms of need to transport large volumes, you will always see the growth of the higher end in line with economic growth, which is typically 1.1 times the GDP. And you'll find the HCV segment growing at 7.5%. That's a very standard way of looking at it. But we really want to see that in terms of consolidation happening, and if you also look at the American Trucking Association figures, the problem is not of size of the logistics companies or trucking companies.
Okay.
The problem is of size of the trucks that they own, and that is a real inefficiency that we're looking at the Indian market.
Okay.
So if you see consolidation, you will not see consolidation in terms of large number of large fleet operators coming on, but in terms of small fleet operators moving ahead in terms of the tonnage of trucks that they have.
Okay.
So only 28% of American fleet lies with large fleet operators. The rest, everything is with small fleet operators.
So what you mean to say is economy of scale at a very micro level also.
Exactly.
Mr. Sharma, you also deal with fleets quite a bit. What has been your experience in trying to offer radial tires to more and more fleet operators? Are they also bound by the same cost constraints that Dr. Goenka referred to, or do you see some kind of transformation happening? Because the pace of radialization has surely improved in recent times.
Yeah, in a way, tires, I mean, if you see it from the prism of tires, the question is more or less the same. There's the bias tire, which was the erstwhile old technology and the new technology being radial. So in many senses, the radial is also a generic product. But if you see the scenario 3 years back, and as you see the scenario today, there has been a transformation. But having said that, that should by definition mean the degrowth of bias tires,
Okay.
which is not happening.
So Pisharoddy, all those auto component manufacturers who tell me that OEMs tend to be a bit conservative when it comes to adopting new technology, I think they'd have changed their mind when they saw the World LCV displayed at the Auto Expo.
Yeah, I think changes are happening. Some of them have already been touched upon. Radial tires, while commercial vehicles was the last to start off, I think today we are looking at fairly healthy percentages of radialization. The possibility for an OEM to go into a completely new drivetrain and platform means you need to talk about 10 to 20 year cycle for that platform to last. And yes, Prima, we said, when we started conceiving Prima 10 years ago, two things we said, that somebody has to make the move to bring world-class trucks to India.
I'll also add something on this before you ask.
Sure.
See, we talk about the new technology being introduced by OEMs.
Yeah.
See, OEMs will do what customers want. And I believe that the Indian commercial vehicle consumer is very conservative when it comes to new technology. For two reasons. One, the initial cost of acquisition, I think, plays too heavily on the mind of the customer, perhaps unrealistically so.
Okay.
And there's too much emphasis being put on that. But the other point also is that the fear that new technology will not work and make his truck off-road. For a long time, we had trouble convincing customers that CRD engine is not bad. And they used to call it computer wala gadi. And we don't want to buy computer wala gadi because no computer nahi aata.
I have to come to you for another point here. Do we see fully built vehicles becoming more prevalent now, when we all understood the concept of the low-end truck still existing for a while and cows still being demanded? But do you see at least some kind of traction for fully built vehicles?
I think that the change to fully built-up vehicles also is happening slower than at least what I had thought. In fact, let me admit that when we launched Mahindra Navistar truck, we didn't launch a cowl, thinking that the customer would change fully to fully built trucks. And finally, we had to launch a cowl, and we are now selling more cows than fully built. So the change is slower. And the reason for that, very simply, is again going back to the cost of acquisition. Because clearly a factory-built cabin costs more. It has more content, but it costs more.
Let me toss this question to Anirudh. You have a fully built applications division. You make tailors, strippers and mixers now. What has been your experience in terms of customers asking for fully built applications?
Well, when we got into fully built vehicles, it was kind of by an accident because, we had this thing of product being really good and we couldn't find a bodybuilder to match the standards that we were emulating. So we put it together on our own. But over a period of time, we realized that turned out to be an advantage in a couple of ways. One, we are able to maintain the standard across the product. I'm able to give a complete warranty to the customer for the old product, and it's a one-stop solution where we are able to roll out the product in a planned sequence manner. So if you combine the effects, at least in the tipper segment, we found that having your own bodybuilding has been to our advantage.
I think I'll toss one last question to the whole panel. Anyone can take it. Do you think there should be a scheme to phase out the old trucks and old buses? Will the trade unions agree to this, and what was the government stand likely to be in this?
At the end of the day, it means more sales of vehicles for them. Right? Trade unions are not going to budge an inch. Shorter life cycles of product with per customer is happening, but the product longevity on the market is going to be fairly large.
And I think Government of India is also in full agreement with the what is right thing to do, and SIAM has been making the representation for many years. The only question that comes up is who will bear the cost.
Thanks a lot. It's been a very productive discussion, and thanks for the fantastic views.
My name is Marisha Parikale, and I'm indeed very honored to be welcoming all of you to the very prestigious Apollo CV Awards for 2012, and this year it turns 3. In fact, we do see the presence of the creme de la creme of the industry, just as has been the case in the last 2 editions. Ladies and gentlemen, to take the proceedings for this very prestigious night forward, I'd like to invite on stage Mr. Hoshang Pilimoria, CEO, NextGen Publishing Limited.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 3rd Apollo Tyres CV Awards for 2012. Today, it's not enough for a successful magazine to just produce a print product. In the case of CV, of course, it's the only magazine in the sector, but the awards event is growing from strength to strength. I'd like to thank people, all the senior illustrious personalities who participated in the panel discussion, and also thank Messrs. AMW for sponsoring this discussion. For our awards event, we continue to have our sponsors, Apollo Tyres, have been with us right from the beginning. So have Messrs. Subros. We'd like to thank our research partners, Metric, our validators, Messrs. Mazars, and of course our TV partners, Zee Business. CV Magazine has had a very good 2011-12. I believe so has the CV industry, with an average growth rate of about 18%. The next year promises to be one of cautious optimism, what with still high interest rates, the confused fuel policy, depreciation of the rupee, and so on. But we still remain optimistic about the future. With these words, I'd like to invite Mr. Satish Sharma, CEO of Apollo Tyres, to come and address the audience. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. A very, very warm welcome on behalf of Apollo Tyres. As Mr. Billy Mori has already said, Apollo Tyres has been associated with CV since the very inception in the pursuit of recognizing exceptional work which is being done in the CV industry. I'd just like to say one thing. Often I'm asked, being in the tire space, that tires is a lead indicator of what the CV economy is doing, or how the CV industry is behaving. So good news from my end, at least from January onwards. As you know, we are the largest capacity for bias tire, and from 2010 we have the largest capacity of truck bus radials as well. Thankfully to some OEM friends who encouraged us in taking that route. The happy point is that as on date we are quite frankly selling everything that we are producing. And so if that gives you some comfort and confidence in taking on the new fiscal despite the uncertainties mentioned, I think on that bright note, wishing you all the very best. Congratulations to all the winners tonight, and wish you a great amount of luck for the coming year. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your best wishes. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to actually understand what has gone into the making. I'd like to invite to the stage Mr. Sridharacharya.
It gives me great pleasure to be in front of all of you again. I see a whole cross-section of the CV industry in front of me. I see many familiar faces which have helped make the last two editions of the awards a grand success. I see many new faces as well. And I see the new faces of OEMs who want to enter India and make it big in India. It's not surprising. The Indian CV industry has grown pretty well last year despite many doubts, as Mr. Billy Mori and Mr. Sharma said. Also, looking at a larger picture, India remains the only large commercial vehicle market in the world, probably the only one, which is growing and which is still fairly open to enter. Coming back to explaining how the awards were decided and arrived at, broadly we have two kinds of award categories. One, I mean if you can group into that, the first category, first set of awards would be the OEM awards, the auto component awards, and the application builder awards. These awards were arrived at by discussion, by jury discussion, that included Dominic Martin, Head Marketing of Apollo Tyres. It also included V. Ramakrishnan, Vice President Frost & Sullivan, and it included S.P. Singh, Senior Fellow, Indian Foundation of Transport Research and Training, besides myself. So far as the fleet operator and dealer category awards were concerned, those were decided by an exhaustive research process undertaken by our research partners, Metric Consultancy. Thank you very much. Enjoy the evening.
The first award for this evening, which is LCV Cargo Carrier of the Year Award. Ladies and gentlemen, to announce the name of the awardee and to present the award, Please join me in welcoming on stage Mr. V. Ramakrishnan, Vice President, South Asia and MENA Automotive Practice, Frost & Sullivan.
The winner for LCV Cargo Carrier of the Year award goes to Ashok Leyland Dost.
Congratulations. Thank you so much, sir, for doing the honors. All right, ladies and gentlemen, since the Fleet Operators Award is coming up next, I'd like to invite Mr. Pratap Jagdale, COO Metric Consultancy, to give us a brief on the Fleet Operator and Dealer Awards category and how Metric went about the process. Welcome, sir.
Very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I extend a warm welcome to all of you. Metric has been partnering the research process for all the 3 editions so far. Essentially, we have been covering the fleet owners for commercial vehicles and commercial vehicle dealers. These are the 2 specific categories. And we have been focusing on the business excellence platform as a platform for evaluating all these participants. The process that we have developed is on the basis of EFQM platform which is available, which essentially divides the evaluation criteria into 2 parts. One is the results and second is the enablers. Now essentially the results are classified into financial, customer results, people and society. And when it comes to the enablers, it goes into leadership, strategy and processes, manpower and assets. Now assets also covers the technology part which the respondents will involve. Now the typical process for this round started in December 11. We invited the nominations and there is an encouraging trend. As you can see that the number of nominations are going up steadily every year. In the first year we recorded 1740 nominations. Last year we did 2802. This year the number has gone to 3400, which is an encouraging trend. The information which was collected has been scrutinized and evaluated for deciding the initial list of top 4 participants in each category. Now these have been further validated by site visits which were made by experts, which were essentially combining of CS and business excellence professionals. That's all from my side as far as the evaluation process goes. Thank all of you and look forward to a great evening. Thank you so much.
To the next award, the Emerging Truck Fleet Operator of the Year. To disclose the winner and to present the award, may I invite on stage Mr. Sanjeev Khurana, CFO, Daimler India Commercial Vehicles.
The award for the Emerging Truck Fleet Operator of the Year goes to PT Express Lines Private Limited.
The next award for this evening is the HCV Truck of the Year Prime Mover category. Let me invite on stage Mr. Pratap Jagdale, COO Metric Consultancy, to disclose the name of the awardee and to present the award.
HCV Truck of the Year Prime Mover award goes to Mahindra Navistar MN40.
The next award for this evening is HCV Truck of the Year, 16 to 25 tons, GVW Rigid. To present the award and to declare the winner, may I invite on stage Mr. Satish Sharma, Chief India Operations, Apollo Tyres Limited.
And the winner is Kamaz Vectra 6520.
Our next award is HCV Truck of the Year, 25 tons and above, GVW Rigid. To disclose this, I would like to invite on stage Mr. Pavan Sabharwal, Director Marketing, Subros Limited.
Tata Prima 3128K 8x4.
Ladies and gentlemen, we would now like to present the Fleet Operator of the Year Niche Applications Award. I'd like to invite Mr. Ravi Pisarodi, President CVBU Tata Motors Limited, to please come on stage and do the honors.
Fleet Operator of the Year Niche Applications, Baruka Logistics Private Limited.
The next award for this evening is the Large Truck Fleet Operator of the Year. I'd like to invite on stage Dr. Pavan Goenka, President Automotive and Farm Equipment, Mahindra & Mahindra Limited, to please do the honors.
Winner of Large Truck Fleet Operator of the Year is Aarti Roadways Private Limited.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next award for this evening is Best Practice Adopter of the Year. I'd like to invite on stage Mr. Akash Base, Senior Vice President, Region International, Volvo Buses.
I have the privilege to present the Best Practice Adopter of the Year, WeTrans India Limited.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next award is very crucial and very important, as it is the Editor's Choice Award for Iconic CV Product. And who better to present this award than Mr. Sridhar Chari. I'm going to request sir to please come on stage and do the honors. For many decades now, this unique product has helped bridge gaps in public transportation while meeting the needs of specialized applications. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for this ageless traveler, the Force Traveler. Congratulations. Our next award is Truck Application Builder of the Year. Inviting on stage Mr. Rajesh Mittal, Senior Vice President and Head Operations, Trucks, Buses and Engines, VECV, to please do the honors.
Award goes to Transport Solution India.
And with that, we now move to the next award, which is Bus Application Builder of the Year. I'd like to invite on stage Mr. Hendrik Fagrenius, Managing Director, Scania Commercial Vehicles India Private Limited.
The honorable winner is Veeravama Udyog Private Limited.
Let me call on stage Mr. Aditya Kank, Marketing Manager, Metric Consultancy.
And the award goes to Volvo FMX 8x4 tipper.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the CV Dealer of the Year. To determine the winner in this particular category, I'd like to invite on stage Mr. Ram Amarnath, Managing Director, Allison Transmission India Private Limited.
And the winner is Popular Mega Motors Limited.
Award, CV Component of the Year. May I invite on stage Mr. Rakesh Kalra, Managing Director, Biki Futon.
CV Component of the Year award goes to Jost Trader Axel.
The component of the year, it's now time to find out the CV Component Maker of the Year. Mr. Sridhar Chari will be doing the honors and declaring the CV Component Maker of the Year award.
The winner of this very prestigious award is RSB Group.
Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, let us take a look at the nominations for the next award, Fleet Enabler of the Year. To announce which enabler has made it this evening, I'd like to invite on stage Mr. Donald J. Schulte, Managing Director, India Initiative, Parker Incorporation.
So the award for Fleet Enabler of the Year goes to Shriham Automobile India Limited.
With that, ladies and gentlemen, we do come to the highlight of this evening, the big 3 awards. First of which is the CV Man of the Year Award. This is former President of SIAM, former President SAE, Governing Council member at NATRIP, and above all, an excellent people manager. A man who is respected by one and all present here. Please put your hands together and join me in welcoming Dr. Pavan Goenka.
CV, this was a total surprise to me. I had absolutely no clue. And Roma, who always pre-warns us for anything like this time didn't do her job. So I haven't come prepared with a speech. I somehow don't think of myself yet as a commercial vehicle man, even though last year company sold more commercial vehicle than personal vehicle, which I was quite surprised to understand. And also, even though we make from 0.5 ton three-wheeler to 40-ton trucks and everything in between. But I guess CV Magazine is the only magazine that writes about the commercial vehicle side of a business, while everybody is enamored by the glamour of XUV 500 and such. So thank you, CV Magazine, for bringing out the commercial vehicle part of what we do. A lot of my colleagues here who have allowed me to get this honor for Commercial Vehicle Man of the Year, I thank them all for working very hard on various segments that we have. Three-wheeler, one-ton pickup trucks, LCVs, HCVs, and everything. And once again, I'm really delighted and honored to receive this award, which I was not at all expecting to get. Thank you so much.
Time for the next big highlight at the Apollo CV Awards for 2012.
Thank you to CV and the sponsors, Apollo, Subros, Metric, The Business, for this recognition.
Heartiest congratulations to all the awardees, and this is a moment that we at CV and Apollo definitely want to capture. So I'm going to request all our esteemed award winners to please join us on stage so that we can collectively take a group picture.
Been associated with this right from the beginning. This is the third edition, and while there are a lot of awards in the car space, there was precious little in the CV space. And I think the CV Magazine came out with a brilliant idea. We have been traditionally the market leaders in the commercial vehicle tire industry, so it was a natural fit for us. And I think this award has gone from strength to strength over the last 3 years, and we are very happy to be associated with this and recognizing the efforts of the industry.
It was totally surprised. I had no clue that I would be considered for this award, and therefore I'm delighted to receive it, and I'm absolutely honored. We're greatly appreciative of CV Business to CV Magazine and Apollo Tires for recognizing this hard work by our entire organization.
दोस्तों पहले भी टाटा प्राइमा के मॉडल को CV ऑफ द ईयर अवार्ड मिला मिल चुका है, और हम समझते हैं कि आगे जाके भी प्राइमा को काफ़ी सारे अवार्ड मिलेंगे, तो वी आर वेरी हैप्पी विद यू.
We have been leaders in technology, leaders in thought, and I think this is a good recognition same. We brought a lot of value to India, a lot of change, and we continue to do the same here.